Love, often celebrated as life's greatest joy, is in reality one of its most dangerous traps. The Stoics understood this fundamental truth centuries ago, recognizing that romantic attachment is a primary source of human suffering and a significant obstacle to personal growth. While society glorifies love as the ultimate goal, the harsh reality is that it frequently leads to disappointment, heartbreak, and a loss of self. Today, we'll examine why the Stoics viewed love as a weakness and how their wisdom can liberate you from the emotional turmoil that accompanies romantic entanglements. This video will challenge everything you thought you knew about relationships. At the end, you'll discover the strength that comes from emotional independence. 1. The illusion of control, love's false promise. Love deceives you into believing you have control over your happiness and future. You convince yourself that finding the one will solve all your problems and bring lasting fulfillment. This illusion of control is not only misguided, it's dangerous. The truth is, by placing your emotional well-being in the hands of another person, you're surrendering your power and autonomy. You become dependent on their actions, moods, and feelings to determine your own state of mind. This dependency is a form of weakness that leaves you vulnerable to manipulation and heartbreak. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, warned against this when he said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." By fixating on love and relationships, you're constantly grieving for what you lack or fear losing, rather than appreciating your inherent self-sufficiency. Recognize that true strength comes from within, not from external sources like romantic partners. The Stoics understood that the only thing we truly control is our own mind and actions. By placing your happiness in the hands of another, you're abdicating this control and setting yourself up for inevitable disappointment. 2. The emotional roller coaster, love's destabilizing force. Love throws you into a constant state of emotional flux, with your mood swinging wildly based on the status of your relationship. One moment you're elated by a loving gesture, the next you're plunged into despair by a perceived slight. This emotional instability is exhausting and prevents you from achieving true peace of mind. The highs of love may feel exhilarating, but they come at a steep price. Every peak of happiness is matched by a valley of anxiety, jealousy, or fear of loss. You become a slave to your emotions, unable to maintain the steady state of tranquility that the Stoics prized above all else. Marcus Aurelius addressed this volatility when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By allowing your emotional state to be dictated by the ups and downs of a romantic relationship, you're surrendering this power and becoming a victim of circumstance. 3. The identity erosion, losing yourself in love. Love has a way of eroding your sense of self, blurring the boundaries between you and your partner until you can no longer distinguish your own identity. You begin to define yourself through the relationship, losing sight of your individual goals, values, and interests. This loss of self is particularly insidious because it happens gradually. You start making small compromises, adapting your behavior to please your partner. Before you know it, you've molded yourself into someone you barely recognize, all in the name of love. Seneca warned against this danger when he said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." By constantly imagining what your partner wants or needs, you create a false reality where your own desires and needs become secondary or even non-existent. A strong identity is crucial for personal growth and fulfillment. Love should enhance your life, not consume it. The Stoics valued self-knowledge and personal integrity above all else. By losing yourself in a relationship, you're sacrificing the very essence of who you are. Reclaim your identity and remember that you are a complete individual with or without a romantic partner. 4. The vulnerability trap, exposing your weaknesses. Love requires vulnerability, which the Stoics recognized as a dangerous weakness. When you open your heart to another person, you're essentially handing them a roadmap to your deepest insecurities and fears. This exposure leaves you open to manipulation, heartbreak, and emotional devastation. In the throes of love, You willingly lower your defenses, sharing your most private thoughts and feelings. While this openness may feel liberating at first, it ultimately puts you at a significant disadvantage. Your partner gains intimate knowledge of your weaknesses, which they can exploit, intentionally or unintentionally, causing you immense pain. Epictetus addressed this vulnerability when he stated, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By exposing your innermost self to another person, you're relinquishing mastery over your own emotions and well-being. You become enslaved to the fear of betrayal or abandonment, constantly on edge about the security of your relationship. True strength comes from self-reliance, not from bearing your soul to another person. The Stoics advocated for emotional self-sufficiency, understanding that depending on others for emotional fulfillment is a recipe for suffering. Guard your heart and mind, and find security in your own self-mastery rather than in the fleeting promises of romantic love. 5. The distraction dilemma. Love's interference with personal growth. Love is a major distraction from personal development and the pursuit of virtue, key tenets of Stoic philosophy. When you're caught up in the whirlwind of a romantic relationship, your focus shifts away from self-improvement and towards pleasing your partner or maintaining the relationship. Think about how much time and energy you devote to your romantic pursuits. The hours spent texting, calling, and daydreaming about your partner could be used for reading, learning new skills, or working towards your goals. Love becomes a convenient excuse for neglecting your personal growth. Marcus Aurelius understood the importance of focus when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By allowing love to dominate your thoughts and actions, you're surrendering this power and letting external circumstances dictate your path in life. 6. The judgment clouding. Love's impact on rational thinking. Love has a way of clouding your judgment, leading you to make decisions based on emotion rather than reason. When you're infatuated with someone, you overlook their flaws, ignore red flags, and rationalize behavior that you'd never tolerate from anyone else. This impairment of your critical thinking skills is a significant weakness. The rose-colored glasses of love don't just affect how you see your partner, they distort your entire worldview. You might make major life decisions, like moving to a new city or changing careers, based on the whims of your relationship rather than sound logical reasoning. This emotional decision-making often leads to regret and resentment down the line. Seneca addressed this issue when he said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." When you're in love, your imagination runs wild with fantasies of a perfect future, blinding you to the harsh realities of your situation. Now, take off those rose-colored glasses and see your relationships for what they truly are. The Stoics valued clear-headed rationality above all else. By allowing love to cloud your judgment, you're setting yourself up for poor decisions and inevitable disappointment. Cultivate emotional detachment and make choices based on reason, not the fleeting feelings of romantic attachment. 7. The dependency danger, relying on others for happiness. Love creates a dangerous dependency, leading you to rely on another person for your happiness and self-worth. This reliance on external validation is a fundamental weakness that goes against core Stoic principles of self-sufficiency and inner strength. When you're in love, your mood becomes inextricably linked to your partner's actions and feelings. A simple text message can make your day, while a minor argument can plunge you into despair. This emotional dependency is not only unstable, it's unsustainable. You're constantly at the mercy of another person's whims and moods. Epictetus warned against this dependency when he said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." By relying on a romantic partner for your happiness, you're constantly grieving for the attention and affection you're not receiving, rather than finding joy in your own self-sufficiency. 8. The future fixation. Love's obsession with what if. Love traps you in a constant state of anxiety about the future, robbing you of the ability to live in the present moment. When you're caught up in a romantic relationship, You're always worrying about what comes next, the next date, the next milestone, the potential for heartbreak or betrayal. This fixation on the future is a significant weakness because it prevents you from fully experiencing and appreciating the present. You're so busy planning for a life together or worrying about potential problems that you miss out on the simple joys of everyday existence. Marcus Aurelius addressed this issue when he wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." By constantly projecting your thoughts into an imagined future with your partner, you're neglecting the only time you can actually control, the present. 9. The ego inflation, love's false sense of importance. Love has a way of inflating your ego, making you believe that your romantic relationship is the center of the universe. This inflated sense of self-importance is a weakness that blinds you to the broader context of life and your place in it. When you're in love, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that your relationship drama is of cosmic significance. A minor argument feels like the end of the world, while a romantic gesture seems like the most important event in history. This myopic focus on your love life prevents you from maintaining proper perspective on what truly matters. Seneca addressed this ego inflation when he said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." By magnifying the importance of your romantic entanglements, you create unnecessary suffering for yourself and those around you. The Stoics believed in seeing oneself as a small part of a vast cosmos, not as the center of the universe. Your romantic relationships, while personally significant, are ultimately just a tiny blip in the grand scheme of things. By recognizing this truth, you can free yourself from the drama and emotional turmoil that comes with taking love too seriously. 10. The impermanence denial, love's refusal to accept change. Love often blinds you to the fundamental impermanence of all things, including relationships. You cling to the illusion of forever, refusing to accept that change is inevitable, and that all relationships, no matter how strong, will eventually end, if not through breakup or divorce, then through death. This denial of impermanence is a significant weakness because it sets you up for crushing disappointment and prevents you from fully appreciating the present moment. You waste time and energy trying to preserve something that is inherently temporary rather than accepting the natural ebb and flow of life. Marcus Aurelius addressed this truth when he wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." By clinging desperately to the idea of eternal love, you're fighting against the very nature of existence. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.